The presidential candidates are in California heading into the last weekend of campaigning before Tuesday's primary. And last night, campaign trail violence followed. Lisa Desjardins has the story.
Police in riot gear, campaign hats on fire, and bloodied faces. That was the scene last night outside a Donald Trump rally in San Jose, California. And increasingly, it's the picture of campaign 2016, where one side sees organized, violent protesters. The other says it all started with the candidate himself.
Our democracy is under siege. People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator. This is not something to analyze anymore. Yeah. This is not so, oh, a good day for Trump. Yeah. This is frightening stuff if you are an American. If you're somebody who's 80 years old and sitting at home and you've watched the greatness of this country, you should be terrified. And if you're a 12-year-old and the future is in front of you, this is terrifying. This is not time to analyze and pundit. People, we need a revolution at this point.
So all the time I keep hearing about how violent Trump supporters are as one of the reasons people are fighting so vehemently against him instead of getting behind him, which of course would make America unstoppable. But if you're a Democrat and you even think of supporting America First agenda, you better watch your ass. But the only problem with that is that there seems to be a lack of instances of Trump supporters being violent towards leftists. There's a handful of instances of them reacting to leftists, but no real organic Trump supporter causing violence out of nowhere clips. Which is why things like this Jussie debacle happen. Because people are starting to notice that, so they need a big news anti-Trump story to re-fan the flames of hatred. This great comment says it all. You don't rob a bank and leave a calling card. I love it. Like they're gonna jump this dude and yell, MAGA country. Like, who even talks like that? Only you guys say corny shit like that. Hashtag resist, hashtag Drumpf. Ugh. Now this isn't the first time one of their Trump bashing narratives was exposed. Last year, Project Veritas did a whole great expose on voter fraud where it has people who work for the Hillary campaign on camera breaking down how they bring in people, get them temporary cars, they work for a week so they can show a paycheck as proof of residency. The whole nine. No one cared. It wasn't on MSNBC or CNN, so when you mention voter fraud on Hillary's side, they say, no there wasn't. There was only voter fraud was Russian interference for Trump. Even though there's literally video evidence of them themselves breaking down how they do it, as opposed to a 2-year investigation that's become a national embarrassment and has convicted like 5 Russians supporting Trump online. Oh no, were people trolling on the internet? Because that's clearly an advantage when going up against your constant barrage of fully produced anti-Trump propaganda pieces, complete with sad piano music and high-end production being shoved in everyone's face every single day, all because they got a kick out of that one fun cat video they saw on BuzzFeed 3 years ago and liked their page. No, guys, that's totally okay and ethically sound. But people voicing their support for Trump online in text form, whoa, voter fraud. But now, getting back to this Project Veritas video, there's also a breakdown on how they plant agitators in the crowds of Trump rallies, called bird dogging. And they plant these agitators in the crowds of Trump rallies to provoke instances that they can then use to later paint Trump supporters as violent. Listen.
There's a script.
Oh, there is a script.
There's a script.
Okay.
There's a script of engagement. Sometimes the crazies bite, and sometimes the crazies don't bite. The media will cover it no matter where it happens.
I assume it's always in the rally.
Initiating the conflict by having leading conversations with people who are naturally psychotic. You can message to draw them out and draw them to punch you. These are all the Trump and Pence appearances. Tomorrow, for instance, we are turning out 500 people in front of the Trump International in D.C. We have to have people prepared to go wherever these events are, which means we have to have a central kind of agitator training.
Yep.
Now, we have a built-in group of people in New York who do this.
Okay.
We have a built-in group of people in D.C. who do this.
I was going to say, are they localized?
We have a group of people in Vegas. We have a group of people in Colorado. We have a group of people in Minneapolis.
So I'm
basically deputy rapid response director for the DNC for all things Trump on the ground. The Chicago protest, when they shut all that, that was us. So if we do a protest and it's DNC protest, it's right away the press is going to say partisan. But if I'm in there coordinating with all the groups on the ground and sort of playing field general, but they're the ones talking to the cameras, then it's actually people. But if we send out press advisories with DNC on them and Clinton campaign, it doesn't have the same effect.
We have to be really careful because what we don't need is for it to show up on CNN that the DNC paid for X people to. That's not going to happen.
I probably know your work.
I know you do. Everybody does. But
was the you mean like a situation where it's sort of like
remember the Iowa State Fair thing where Scott Walker grabbed the sign out of the dude's hand, and then the dude gets kind of roughed up right in front of the stage, right there on camera. Yeah, that was all us. The guy who got roughed up is my counterpart who works for Bob.
And that was like storyboarded, that him getting roughed up, or
scenario.
Remember this woman? Her name is Shirley Teeter. She is a 69-year-old sufferer of COPD. According to numerous news stories at the time, she was assaulted at a Trump rally in North Carolina by Trump supporter Richard Campbell. The media played her story across the country for days.
She was one of our activists.
She was one of your activists
who had been trained up to bird dog.
Yes.
So the term bird dogging, you put people in the line at the front, which means they have to get there at 6 o'clock in the morning, so they're getting the front of the rally, so that when Trump comes down the rope line, they're the ones asking him the question in front of the reporters because they're pre-placed there. To funnel that kind of operation, you have to start back with people 2 weeks ahead of time and train them how to ask questions.
Right.
You have to train them to bird dog.
No, I'm saying we have mentally ill people that we pay to do shit. Make no mistake. Over the last 20 years, I've paid off a few homeless guys to do some crazy stuff.
Now this is why when we see something like pipe bombs that look like they were made by a child found in the mailboxes of politicians, when everyone knows packages like that typically go to a Secret Service field office first, with no postage stamp on the envelope, meaning they were never mailed, misspellings, and coming from a guy who bounced at the same strip joint as Stormy Daniels from Broward County and rocking a van with 200 brand new anti-Democrat Trump stickers on it, completely unfaded by the Florida sun, we tend to be skeptical. So why the massive push to paint Trump supporters as a violent threat? This, my friends, is how you radicalize a group of people to violence. See, we're all inherently good inside. We aren't fighting with each other because one side is evil and one is good. We all think we're the good guys. We all want a better economy. We all want the poor communities to be lifted up. We all want to end the wars and have peace on earth. That's what people don't realize. That's what the media wants you to forget, is that we both want the same things. We simply just don't agree on how to get there. They want you to think the right doesn't want to help the poor black communities. No, we just think they're being scammed by the liberals and that all those policies actually work to make things worse, not better. That's all we're saying. Should give our side a try. You know, the side that freed you from slavery, fought the KKK, fought Jim Crow laws, gave you the right to vote, and spearheaded the civil rights movement. I mean, it's been 50 years now of trying out the other side with democratic policies. And look at the stage of things. We think that the answer isn't to accept that there are no jobs and to amp up welfare. It's to bring skilled labor back and let people get some real money in their hands. Let them decide what they want to do with that money. Don't just give them, here's your housing allowance and here's your food allowance. We simply think things like raising the minimum wage isn't a solution. It just raises the prices of all the services everywhere, essentially devaluing our wages. I didn't get a $7 an hour raise. It's an inflation scam. We on the right want to know why these are the only jobs they can get in the first place. Our solution isn't to raise the minimum wages, to bring back high-paying manufacturing jobs, bring back skilled labor, and they'll be making more than $18 an hour working at the factory without having to pay 3 times the price for dinner. But the news never tells you that. They just say Republicans are anti-minimum wage because they want to keep you down. So they don't present both sides. They present their side as a hopeful solution and then say the evil Republicans oppose it. You know, those same violent Trump supporters we keep showing you. They want good, regular Americans who simply identify as leftists to be filled with hate and anger at all times towards the right. They're hoping it stays fresh until the 2020 election. That's why every single morning you wake up and hear the new terrible Trump thing, because they want you to start your day pissed off. That's what you get for following the Democrats. That's the penance for this moral superiority complex being a liberal has allowed you to don. You get to be made angry every single day of your life. Angry at fake news. See, that wasn't just Trump trolling the media when he said that. That was him dropping a massive red pill into the public conscience. It's fake news to radicalize their base. They want you to think Trump's a Nazi. They want you to think all white Trump supporters are the enemy. They want you to think the MAGA hat, a hat that simply calls for the prosperity of our shared country, is the uniform of the enemy, a symbol of hate. This is how you radicalize a group of people. That's why they have their occasional hoax story ready with 6,000 pre-made fluff pieces on it, when on the other side there are real attacks happening by the radicalized violent left.
What's wrong with my hat? What's wrong with my hat? It's my opinion.
Dude was following this dude around Starbucks because he got on a Trump hat.
President, you ain't supporting shit.
It was a blatant cheap shot in Laguna Beach Sunday night. Video catches a man walk up behind Trump supporter R.C. Maxwell, then take a swing at him.
If the optics were completely different and I was a Black Lives Matter supporter and I was attacked on the Trump side of a protest, I would be spotlight on CNN right now.
Literally, this guy told me that he was going to kill Trump, and I was just saying, let's make America great again. And 3 minutes later, I'm the one that's getting escorted off the airplane, which they haven't explained to me why I've been escorted off the airplane yet. So this should be good.
A sixth grader attacked on his school bus for wearing a Make America Great Again hat. You can see him there. And guess who was suspended after all this? The victim.
You want to build a wall? You want to build a...
The video shows classmates shoving the 12-year-old St. Louis boy while yelling at him for supporting the president.
On camera, conservative students at Fordham University here in New York say that they were kicked out of a campus coffee house because of thought discrimination and a dislike for their hats. Watch.
I don't want people like you supporting this club.
Well, then you should include that I want a refund of my coffee.
Like
yeah, then you should give me a refund of my coffee.
Then I want... You are wearing hats that completely violate your safe space policy. I'm
Does this
telling you
hat
to
have
take
a
it
racist
off or
slur
you
on
have to go.
Look at these niggas with the fucking hat on. Let me see your hat. Let me see your hat. You and you is bitches. Oh God, you niggas can get knocked the fuck out right now. Look at your fucking hat, nigga. You's retarded. Fucking retarded. Hey, Bubba, hey, Bubba, hey, Bubba. Look at their ass. Hey, Bubba. Oh, sorry ass fucking crackers, nigga. Y'all ass get beat the
You want 50? No, I want the whole fucking
Equality. What are we talking about? I want equality. I love it.
50-50 or whole, motherfucker!
No, 50-50, man.
Whole! Whole! Or fuck off! Fuck you!
Think about your hat and the way it makes people feel, because it incites fear in all those around us. Every person is afraid of that hat. I'm afraid of that hat. Keep America great. For so many people, that's racism.
Yeah, but that's because of the mainstream media's narrative that's painted Donald Trump as a racist. I don't agree with the narrative. I'm out here to try to share that that narrative is skewed.
As a human being, you should pay attention to fear and not logic.
Wait, you said pay attention to fear and not logic?
Yes.
I should have paid attention to emotions and not facts?
Yes.
Why would I pay attention to emotions when...
that are real in this world.
I'm going to vote Trump, damn it. You voted Trump! You voted Trump! Oh, yeah, he voted Trump! She made 35. Oh, yeah. Oh, y'all vote. I gotta do that to Damn. Beat his ass! Don't vote Trump! Don't vote Trump! Don't vote Trump!
Now that's the party of tolerance? I mean, this is reminiscent of Hitler's brown shirts. AKA the last time a globalist tried to push socialism on everything. I mean, you could call Hitler a white nationalist all you want, but he literally allied with the Muslims and Japan to take over all the white countries of Europe. Hitler's plan was the European Union, a united Europe under socialism. That's not a secret. These are his plans on paper. I know. I took an in-depth World War II class in college. I mean, Hitler was a quarter Rothschild, so it's not that surprising. But that, my friends, is how you radicalize an entire group of people who claim to stand for tolerance and nonviolence into being completely intolerant bigots, jumping out of their shoes to commit violent acts in hope of enacting a socialist nation state. Where we go one, we go all.
I just want to purchase something for
Fuck off, dude! Fuck off! Get the fuck off in here, man! Fuck, man!
I got a fucker in my store, he won't leave. He's wearing some Trump bullshit, got some racist bullshit all up in his head and shit.
Leave the store!
Here's where
Leave the store! Fuck off! I don't give a fuck! Get out! Fuck your capitalism, fuck your fucking president. He's a racist, stupid piece of shit. You're a racist,
just ring the shit up.
stupid piece of shit.
Just ring the shit up, fuckboy.
Fuck off! Get out!
Help your customer!
Fuck off!